Good evening, good evening, good evening. I'm ever so sorry. I know I'm a couple minutes late. Please bear with me. So, I hope you all had a wonderful week. My week was okay. I'm just getting my cards and bits and pieces together because I'm running a little bit late today. But yeah, so tonight we're going to have a look. There's been a number of very interesting things that have been happening over, ever since Rishi got into number 10. Now, I have to say that I found it very interesting. Rishi Sunak has spoken quite openly that he wants his party and his cabinet to be one free of sleaze. He wants his cabinet to be a reflection of all the talents across the parties, and he wants to bring back integrity and honesty to and competence to the role of prime minister and to the cabinet, the role of government. So he wants to do all of those things. However, and this is the interesting thing, his desire is to be one representing truth and honesty. But currently in his cabinet, there have been, or should I say, since he became Prime Minister and announced his cabinet, there's been a number of scandals. Now, I'm not saying that any of these scandals are necessarily career ending. Please just bear with me. I'm not saying that they are career ending scandals. Is this incense lit or what? No, the incense has gone out. Charming. I like to light my incense when I'm doing readings. It helps to cleanse my space, and I do it for, you know, cleansing and everything. Anyway, I'm not going to go into much about it. So, all these scandals. Scandal number one, a man by the name of Gavin Williamson. Gavin Williamson has been an MP for a number of years. He's had a number of roles. One of his roles, or should I say his most important role at one point, was to be party whip. So a whip in a party is the person who's responsible for discipline. A whip is the person you go to if you have a problem or if you think you might have a scandal brewing and you need some assistance. A whip is also a person who makes sure that the party members vote in line with the party leader. So a whip is able to see or has knowledge of all the scandals, all the filth, all the dirt on the members. A whip can also be used to blackmail people because they have all this information, scandalous information, that if it came out, people could get themselves in a lot of trouble. So Gavin Williamson used to be a party whip. And at some point, he ended up having to step down, I think. I mean, I can double check. I'll double check because I hate saying things that aren't verifiable. Just going to put it in here. Gavin Williamson. Gavin Williamson. Okay. Yes. Right. So, okay. So this is his wiki page. Right. I'm sure that this is all. Yes. Okay. Right. So he was a government chief whip in Theresa May's cabinet. And somehow I'm not exactly sure what happened, but somehow he, let's see, yes, nope, chief whip. Ah, yes, right, yes. And then he moved on. I'm not 100% sure, but he did move on to become chief whip, and I'm not sure how that ended, but I don't think it ended well. I think he might have been sacked. I could be wrong, and anyone is able to turn around and tell me otherwise, then that's fine. But later, he then became Secretary of State for Defense, and he was dismissed because there was some kind of leak about him. Oh, yes, it was to do with Huawei and 5G. Some kind of leak that Huawei, which is a Chinese company, wasn't safe. Some kind of leak went on there. I don't remember everything. I'm not going to go into everything, but anyway. So recently, Rishi Sunak had this guy in his cabinet, and Gavin was supposed to be a minister without portfolio. Now, at one point, all right, let me just say him in order. He was chief whip in, I think, about 2016. And I don't know how well that worked out, but I don't think it worked out that well, because then he moved on to defense secretary. And then he was dismissed from that position. And then he ended up becoming a education secretary under Boris. And that was an absolute disaster. But somehow or other, he ended up getting a CBE for it. But he was a disaster. And then, so he was kind of booted from that position. And then in Rishi Sunak's cabinet, he was minister without portfolio. Now, minister without portfolio means that he's not in charge of any particular department, although it can be argued that every department he's been in charge of, he's made a mess of. But he has other qualities. Recently, it came out that Gavin Williams' other qualities was of being a fantastic bully and treating people like crap. So, this is the scandal that broke about Gavin. He complained to, I think, was it the chief whip or something? Another person who'd taken over the post, that he wasn't given an invite to the Queen's funeral. In fact, he bitched about it. And then he kind of threatened her, etc., etc., etc. The whole thing blew up, and everyone's looking at him. You're an awful person. You're a bully. And then all these other scandals come out about how he bullied and bullied and bullied this woman, and not just this woman, but a number of other people, as if nobody remembers seeing a picture of him when he was education secretary and failing abysmally in this post, of him at his desk with a bullwhip on his desk and smiling very sinisterly into the camera. A man who also had a pet tarantula in his office that he would use to intimidate people. I mean, he's like a cartoon villain. But you know what? Him being minister without portfolio, I understand it. I know exactly what Rishi's thinking. Rishi's thinking, this is the guy everybody's terrified of. So I wheel him out when I need to keep people in line. And he, in turn, can whisper in my ear when I need to know about people I have to watch. So that was his role. But scandal after scandal came out about this guy. He had to go. It was drip, drip, drip. Over the space of like a week or 2 weeks, Gavin had to go. So then the next one, which let's be honest, she wasn't really the next one. She was kind of the first one. The first one was Suella. And we've done a reading on Suella Braverman. I like to call her Cruella. We did a reading on her, and all the scandals came out about how incompetent she was when she was in charge, home secretary under the last. Yeah, she was home secretary under Liz Truss. Liz Truss was, her premiership was so short that you could easily forget it, except I think we lost 500 billion pounds off the pound. Yeah, the pound went down by 500 billion, or the stock market in pounds. Anyway, £500 billion lost for somebody who was prime minister for what, 6 weeks? Anyway, so yes, so she got sacked by Liz Truss, which I have to say is quite an accolade, because Liz Truss was awful. So Rishi's brought her back. I believe he's brought her back unwillingly. He didn't really want her, but he knew he needed to have her to keep the swivel-eyed loons, the ERG, on side so they wouldn't try to get rid of him. So there's that set of people. And yeah, Suella, loads of scandals about her. She's still there, but we know she's going. And then there's Dominic Raab, who is the Deputy Prime Minister, which I find very interesting because he was Boris Johnson's Deputy Prime Minister. And apparently he's a massive bully too. Who knew? Although I must admit, he does come across kind of like a jerk. But anyway, so there's all these horrible people in Rishi's cabinet. One that's supposed to be all about integrity and fairness and all these other things. So really and truly, it does make you wonder, because how long has Rishi been Prime Minister? How long has he actually been Prime? Is it just over a month? Maybe. Yeah, just over a month, maybe a month, just over a month. But there's already been 3 scandals with 3 members of his cabinet, one of which he's had to get rid of. And the other 2, well, one of them is definitely going to go. He doesn't really want her anyway. But then there's Raab. And it does make you wonder, although I must admit, Raab has got great staying power. I don't know how. I can only hazard to guess why, but he has. So it does make you wonder. There seems to be a concerted campaign on Rishi, you know, and according to some political pundits, it would seem that, which is fair, because, you know, they are the Tory party. They are the party who will do a Julius Caesar on their leaders if they don't feel that they're fulfilling their role. And you know, they are the party who would sell their grannies if the price was right. So, you know, just saying, Granny's a useless eater. She's been around for a long time. How much do you think we can get for her? I'm just saying. Empathy isn't their strong point anyway. So there's that. Then there's also the fact that Rishi is more of a centrist. He's more of a conservative centrist. And so far, for the last few years, the party has been very much in the hands of the right wing. It's gone very far to the right. Back in the day, you'd have people complaining about how illiberal, you know, that the nanny state, the left, the nanny state, and they're not really that liberal, you know, or should I say, the left are the nanny state, and therefore, in the leftists expect the government to do everything, right? And the right is more about freedom and personal choice, etc., etc. So there's all that stuff. Except that now the right are going so far to the right, it seems like we are headed towards fascism. But that's something I'm going to tackle in another video. Today, I want to look and see, is there a concerted campaign against Rishi? And who is responsible? I might not be able to see who's responsible, but I might get an idea. So we can hope for that. So I'm taking out all my cards today to try and work this one out, because let's be honest, it's kind of a puzzle. A bit of a puzzle. Maybe not the biggest puzzle, but it's a bit of a puzzle. Right, so let me grab a tissue because I think I might need to sort my nose out. Oops. I apologize for being so close to the camera. Better. Right, and I'm going to need some liquid, some fluid, because I've talked so much and we're nearly 20 minutes in. Oh, oh well. Right. Okay. I'm using my usual decks, which are the Game of Thrones Tarot. I'm using Sacred Destiny, although, to be honest, I'm feeling more Oracle of the Seven Energies. Yeah, I am feeling that bit more. Maybe I'll go with that one instead. I'm feeling more Oracle of the Seven Energies today. Yeah, you know what? And that one's a very deep dive. I was hoping to be a little bit more, what's the word? Direct today, but I think this actually calls for something a little more mystic, esoteric, or something. I don't know. Right. So this one is Oracle of the Seven Energies. Right. I haven't used this Oracle deck for a while. So, right. Okay, here goes. Now, I do like to pray before I do a reading, and although you don't necessarily always see me pray, it's my preference. So, Mother, Father, God, Jesus, your divine emanation, ancestors, angels, and spirit guides, please assist me in this question. Please tell me what you would like me to say. Please show me what you would like for me to see. This question is in regards to Rishi Sunak, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Who is out to get him? Who is at the heart of the campaign against him? Is there a campaign against him? Is there one particular source that is drip feeding scandal after scandal about his cabinet? Is there one source trying to undermine his premiership? Is it one person, one group? And what do they hope to gain out of it? Please protect my energy and my space, and please show me what you would like for me to see. Please guide me in what you'd like for me to say. People need answers. And I would like to help. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen, amen, amen. Right, so that's part one. Right, so who's out to get Rishi? Is anyone out to get Rishi? Is this a concerted campaign? Is there one group in particular, one person? Who is Rishi's enemy? Who is trying to stop him from being Prime Minister? Who is trying to destroy his premiership? Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Okay, so now we're counting. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8. 9. Okay, so there's that. Lots of cards there, and the same question. What is the energy surrounding Rishi Sunak? What is the energy? Okay, what are the motivations? What are the motivations of those leaks? What are the purpose of the leaks? Is it coming from within his own party? What is the purpose? What's the energy around those leaking? What is the energy around those leaking? Show me the energy. Show me the energy. Show me the energy. Okay. Pick that one. I'm going to pick that one. I'm going to pick that one. Okay. Right. So there's that. And that. Oh, yes. Of course. Is that. Okay. Straightforward. Right. What's the energy? The energy. Show me the energy. What do they really think? What are they trying to say? A bit of clarity on the cards I've pulled. A bit of clarity on the energy I've pulled. Give me some clarity on the energy I've pulled. Okay, that one. No, that one. I'm going to go for that one. Okay, right. Oops. Okay, let's see. Right, let's see. What have we got? First card I have. Oh, Poet. The light attribute expresses soul insights in symbolic language. The shadow attribute turns a lyric gift to negative or destructive effect. Okay, second card. Ooh. Advocate. The light attribute inspires you to put compassion into action. The shadow attribute embracing negative causes or committing to causes for personal gain. I mean, and the final card, slave. Okay. The light attribute. Surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust. The shadow attribute. Giving your willpower to an external authority out of fear of making your own choices. I want you to look at this card. I don't know how well you can see, but this lady, she's a puppet. I don't know if you can see her strings. She's got strings. There's strings there, and there's strings there, and there's strings there. There's strings. She's a puppet. She's being moved by someone else. This is very interesting. Okay, my clarifiers. My clarifiers. Under poet, eat some yummy stuff. Bacon chocolate beer. Get some. Right, so the first card is about spin. This is about negative publicity. It says on this card, bacon chocolate beer. But notice what the top line says. Yummy poo-poo. Poo-poo is not yummy. Poo-poo is not yummy. But they're telling you to eat poo-poo. To get you some poo-poo. This is under poet. This is telling me that spray the poo-poo. Spray the poo-poo for negative and destructive effect. Spray. No focus on one. Spray. Cover everybody in the poo-poo. The second card I have is seriously just do it. And that is under the advocate. Under embracing negative causing or committing to causings for personal gain. In the vein of the poo-poo, this is saying hold your nose even as much as you find this distasteful and just do it. That's what this is saying to me. Just do it. Hold your nose for the poo-poo. Final card. Everyone has their turn. Welcome to yours. Gather your tired ass up and handle it. This again speaks to me about people being puppets. It's your turn to be useful. It's your turn to be used. Handle it. Deal with the situation. If someone is telling you that it's now your turn, that means that whatever you're doing and it's your turn to do, you are not in charge of it. Someone else is in charge of it. Someone else decides the order and who is going to do the poo-poo job. Sorry, I don't know. For some reason, I just like saying the word poo-poo. Like I'm talking to a toddler. I don't know. It's fun. I'm a child. Whatever. Right. So, Gather your tired ass up and handle it. This is someone who's doing this to you. Handle it. Get it done. And that is under slave. It's making me think at this moment in time that even though the leaks are coming or would appear to be coming from inside the Tory party, the directives to release that information is coming from outside the Tory party. Interesting. All right. Well, that's the energy of the situation. So let's look at the tarot and see what the tarot has to say. Okay, the first card we have up is the Six of Spears. To me, I always see this as the celebrated person. I see this as the victory. Oh, interesting. This is followed by the High Priestess or the Priestess in this deck. Already, we seem to be in the kind of like in the energy of secrets and lies. Or maybe not lies, but definitely secrets. In the Rider-Waite traditional tarot deck, the priestess is usually depicted as a woman on a throne with a book in her hand. And when you look at the book, it's usually only a third of the way through, which means there's more information to be revealed. Although, as we're talking about leaks, of course there's more information to be revealed because they're releasing it dripping and dripping and dripping and dripping. But okay. At the base of the reading is the Page of Spears. Right, the Page of Spears at the base of the reading. Now, pages are usually they can sometimes be people. They can be. They're not quite as bang as a knight or as a king, but anyway, I'm gonna like have a look and peruse. I'll have a closer look at this. Let me put down the rest of the cards. Nine of Swords. This is anxiety, nightmares, worry. Okay, the Nine of Swords is in the background. I suppose one could say that Liz Truss's brief premiership was one of anxiety for the entire country. Oh, sugar, and here she is. Liz Truss is crowning the reading. Oh, my days. She is the Queen of Spears. That's Lizzie. She's come up in other decks before. In the future, I have the Four of Swords. That's respite. Respite, stepping back, having a breather. Okay. In the space of the mind, I have the Two of Cups. All right, the environment is one of restriction. Restriction, the Eight of Swords. The hopes and fears. Oh, somebody's frightened about the truth. Somebody's frightened about the truth. The Ace of Swords. Somebody is frightened about the truth. That's under hopes and fears. Hmm. And then my final card, which is not a great final card, people, is the Moon. Secrets and lies. Man, this is some spread. Mm-mm-mm. I'm checking the book. I'm checking the book. Oh, right. Okay. Right then. Right. Oh, that's send unit. Nope. 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 I want to double check. Victory. All right. I think that the first card is about Rishi. Rishi has achieved his victory. So that's, I don't even need to. That's the victorious, the celebrated person. He's done that. But his victory is crossed by the priestess, which is telling me that there's a secret. The priestess is telling me that there's a secret. So is victory crossed by hidden issues, past conditioning, hidden influences? That's what it is, hidden influences. Something is going on beneath the surface. Hidden knowledge needs to see the light of day. Okay, so how did he become Prime Minister? He became Prime Minister via a coronation. I use the term coronation because once they had a rule that basically said anyone who got over 100 votes was then eligible to become party leader and in turn a prime minister. So these are from the MPs voting for their next leader, right? Rishi was the only one who got over 100 votes. However, Boris suddenly jumped on a plane and came all the way back to the UK from having a Caribbean holiday. I don't know if it was Barbados, probably not Barbados actually, but some Caribbean country, right? So Boris jumped on a plane and came over. Now, many people, myself included, at first thought that Boris did not get the votes he needed, and that's why he dropped out of the race. However, Boris had a number of factors going against him that I'm not going to go into today because I don't want this thing turning into an hour and we've only got 15 minutes left before it becomes an hour. So I need to, done. But the point I'm making is that there are things that are going on beneath the surface. So his victory was crossed by secrets, by hidden motives, right? The base of the reading, I have the page of spears, right? Yeah, I have the page of spears, or the page of wands. Call it page of wands, have fun with it. Right, page of wands. Right. Sometimes I get mixed up with my pages. Okay. Right, so it can be good news. At the base of the reading, yeah. Okay, the base of the reading, this is the people talking about Rishi's cabinet in a bad way. This is the leaks. The leaks are the base of the reading. So this is bad news and leaks. Okay. The Nine of Swords is the anxiety. This is in the past. Now, the anxiety, I believe, and I could be wrong, but the anxiety, I believe, in this case, is more linked to the Queen of Spears, because that's the next card. The next card is the Queen of Spears, right? And this Queen of Spears, well, this is Lizzie. This is Lizzie, baby. Neurotic and rigidly inflexible woman, interfering with your plans by insisting on getting her own way. This is Liz. All day, every day. This is Liz. Liz is butthurt over what's happened to her. And recently, there was a unanimous vote in the House of Commons to censure her and Kwasi Kwarteng. Liz Truss and Kwasi Kwarteng were censured in the House of Commons. They were, what does it mean to be censured? It means that £6,000 have been docked from their severance pay as Prime Minister and as Chancellor. They've taken £6,000 from each of them. And that includes the people in her own party have censured her. Now, I'm not 100% sure if that means that she's also been suspended from the House of Commons, and if that also means that her seat may come up for early election if there's going to be a by-election in her seat because she's kind of been sacked or something. I don't think so, but she has been censured, and £6,000 has been docked from her pay and Kwasi Kwarteng's. And she is upset. Yeah. I would say, looking at all of this, Liz might not be doing the leaks directly, but she's definitely involved in the leaks. Yeah. Why is she right at the top of my reading? I asked who, and they're showing me her. Because she can't do much. She can't like push herself forward and do much. And her party will not back her. But there are other people backing her. Other people backing her who are not in the party. Somehow she's involved in all of this. Okay. Next card I have here is the Four of Swords. Four of Swords. So this is in like the immediate future. The immediate future. The Four of Swords. Personally, I see the Four of Swords as someone who's like, you know what? I need a break. I need a cup of tea and a chocolate biscuit. That's what I need. I need a cup of tea and a chocolate biscuit. I need to sit down and chill. Yeah, time out. Okay, there's a temporary truce in order. Yeah, a temporary truce in order. I have to say though, this card came out as reversed. I don't normally read reversals unless the other cards are trying to show me that I need to be reading a reversal. But I read the Queen of Wands as a reversal. Um, you know what? I think that with all the leaks that have been coming, and they've been coming consistently week after week after week, I think it's becoming quite obvious, if it wasn't already obvious. I think it's becoming quite obvious that there seems to be a campaign against Rishi. And I think that it's getting too obvious. It's getting too obvious. And, there are so many other things you could attack Rishi on instead of trying to throw up all the scandal and sleaze with his cabinet members. It's either that or the people dropping the bombs have just decided, you know what, Christmas is around the corner and I've got to think about the extended family. Everyone's going to be coming over and it's going to be a real pain in the ass. So I don't have time to be leaking information on Rishi. I need to concentrate on my family. So I think there's an element of people be like, you know what, the Christmas break is almost here. How many weeks have we got left in Parliament? Not many. Um, there's other things we could be cracking on with. So there may be a respite coming. There may be a respite from the situation coming, from the scandals, a pause in hostilities. But notice, after there's a pause in hostilities, then people come back being refreshed and twice as fierce. Uh, but let's see. Let's see. I have here the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups is usually an agreement. It's an agreement, a mutuality, a relationship, a happy union. Yep. So in the mind, even though no one objected to Liz and Kwasi being censured, because let's be honest, Liz is from the faction called the ERG, and they are the most right wing, the most fascistic. Even though her premiership was a disaster, they're still friends. They're still friends. They're still friends. They're still friends. They still love each other. They're still friends. They're still supportive. So they're still tied together. Right. So, but the environment is one of restriction. The ERG have created all these swords for themselves and they're hemmed in. I think they're beginning to realize that what's the word for it? Their war on the front of on wokeism, that their culture wars, that's it, the culture wars. They're hemmed in by the culture wars. It doesn't give them much space to maneuver. And even though they can see the whole country turning to crap, they could also see that one of the group became prime minister and the whole country hated her, and they were on the brink of complete disaster. They're hemmed in by their beliefs and ideology. It all comes back to the energy of the reading, the destructive gift, the embracing negative causes for personal gain. So it's opening your mouth, chatting crap about people because there's something in it for you, even if you find it distasteful and you have to hold your nose. And then there's being a puppet. That's where the restriction comes in. Now, because this reading is primarily, it's not so much about Rishi, it's about the people who are launching this campaign to try and destroy him. Their fear, they're hemmed in by their ideology because they've left themselves with very few ways of maneuvering. Their main fear is the truth coming out. Their main fear is the truth. I would say that they're worried if he finds out who they are. He knows who the ERG are, but he doesn't know who's behind this. And they should be worried. Every time I do a reading on Rishi, lately, when I've done a reading on Rishi as Prime Minister, Rishi always comes out as the Emperor. Always comes out as the Emperor. That's my Rishi card. And I do see him making it to the next general election. I said that there would be problems and there would be some infighting in the party, but somehow he will persevere. They're frightened of Rishi finding out. I stand by that. I stand by saying they are frightened of Rishi finding out who they are. And frankly, looking at his cards, with good reason. I say, in the hopes of fears, something good will come out of an evil action. He's very intellectually astute. He will find out. They're frightened of him finding out who it is. That's their fear. That's their fear. Their fear is of truth and of him finding out who they are. They're frightened of that. They don't want that to happen. Because anyone who's been watching Rishi over the last year, I do believe that he was somewhat involved. Somewhat. To what extent, I don't know. But I do believe he was somewhat involved in Boris Johnson's downfall. And it wasn't just him handing his resignation. No, no, no. I think he was somewhat involved in that. Furthermore, when he was part of the leadership election and you had all the other candidates, I could tell what he was going to do. I could tell what he needed to do in order to win. I knew who he was going to get rid of. And I was waiting for the information to come out. I was waiting for the shit to hit the fan for the other contenders. I was just like, okay, Rishi, how are you going to handle this? And I watched it and I watched it and I watched them fall one by one by one by one until, because the person he wanted to go up against was Liz Truss, because he believed that people were intelligent enough to realize she's a whack job. He kind of overestimated that, however. And, you know, after losing £500 billion in the economy, yeah, we agree. Whack job. But he prevailed. He prevailed over all of that. So they're frightened of the truth coming out. They're frightened of being revealed. They're frightened of his intellectual capacity. They're frightened of his ability to cut through the bullcrap. That's what they're frightened of. The only question now, which one is it? Yes. All right, cool. All right. Yes. There is an element of delusion here. There is an element of delusion. They're frightened of the truth. They are deluding themselves. They believe that they have what it takes to put someone else in post, one of their own people, who's going to be a successful prime minister. There's not enough of them. The ERG are a very loud faction within the Conservative Party. Hello, Brandy. Sorry, I've been talking. I didn't notice. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Yeah, the ERG are a small faction, in fact, of the Conservative Party, but they're a very loud faction. They are the most extreme right wing of the party. And they're deluding themselves that one of them can be prime minister. The last time we tried that, we lost £500 billion of the British economy. But hey, these are the people who keep on saying, I want a unicorn. Unicorns don't exist. I don't care. I want a unicorn with wings. I want a unicorn with wings. Unicorns don't exist and horses with wings don't exist. I don't care. I want a unicorn with wings and I want it to have a rainbow tail. Every time you tell them that what they're thinking is delusional, every time you tell them that the conclusions they come to are not in any way based in reality, they ask for things that are even crazier. They become even more extreme. So this is about the delusion. But just that. They are worried about the truth coming out of who they are. But they are also being maneuvered from outside the party. I feel as if to say, there's definitely, as I said, this is dishonesty, this is deceit lies, this is delusion, this is fantasy. They keep on thinking that they can win and that they know what's right for the country and they want one of theirs to be in charge because that's going to be better for everyone, even though they know it's not. They're lying both to themselves and each other. They know it's not going to be best for everyone, but it's going to be best for them. So they think Liz Truss thought it was going to be best for her to become prime minister. That didn't go so well. So there's an issue here with delusion. There's an issue here with deception. Are they really aware that what they're doing and trying to follow is that they're being puppeteered? Are they actually aware that they're puppets? I don't know. Wherever they think they're gonna win, they're not going to win. Oh my gosh, these people are not going to win. They are not going to win. I've said it before, I say it again. Rishi is the emperor. He's large and in charge. The man is astute and intelligent. There's a reason why they're terrified of him finding out what is going on with them. There's a reason. The reason is, who is this King of Swords? That's what I want to know. Who is this King of Swords? The reason they're terrified is because they know he will rip them a new asshole. That's why they're terrified, and they should be terrified because he will seize control. He will seize control. They will not win. They will not win. So, yeah. Bigoted, bigotry, bigotry, bigotry. This is bigotry. This is a man who's a bigot and an egotist. This is something coming to an end. This is being driven by bigotry and egoism. A Queen of Swords, someone with a nasty mouth, a nasty, nasty mouth. Nasty mouth, filthy mouth. Oh my gosh, they're going to turn on each other. They're going to turn on each other. That's part of I'm telling you, these people, whatever bullshit they're trying, they're going to turn on each other. They're going to do so in fear. It's going to be in fear. Oh shit, is this Suella? I wonder if this is Suella. Telling you, Rishi only kept her around because she is part of the ERG, those lunatics. He needed to keep her there because he needed to keep them on side to stop running their mouth and making things difficult for him to stop them from inciting a revolt. But he is going to get rid of Suella. He's been wanting to get rid of her from day one. He didn't want her there. This is where they start turning on each other. This is where, yeah, because I know Suella's gone. She don't know she gone, but she gone. Oh my gosh, they're gonna turn on each other when he finds out. Sorry, I don't know why I'm bursting into American accent, but I get excited. You'll hear all kind of accents coming out of my mouth. You know, they're gonna turn on each other. This is gonna get ugly. This is gonna get ugly. It's gonna get super ugly. Oh my days, it's gonna get ugly. It's gonna get so ugly. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I need a breath. What am I doing? Oh my days. Oh my days. Oh goodness gracious me. It's all a bit much. I can't read anymore. I could. I don't want to. I've had enough. I need a break. I've got to drink some water. Lord have mercy. I'm even spilling my drink. I need a break, man. This shit is wild. Oh my days. Okay, right. Okay. I think I've calmed down a bit more now. Okay. All I'm going to say is that this is going to get super wild. Behind closed doors, I don't know how much you're going to see, but behind closed doors, shit's going to get super wild. They're all going to turn on each other. Everybody's going to be stabbing everybody else in the front, in the back, in the side, wherever they can find to reach. They're going to literally destroy themselves. Yeah, they're going to destroy themselves. And by the time Rishi finishes with them, oh my days. Oh my days. Yeah, I mean, by the time he finishes with them, they're going to be wishing for the good old days when they could be as racist as they wanted and no one was going to say shit. Oh, my goodness gracious me, man. Ooh. This is why I use the Game of Thrones deck for these people, because I do not use this deck for nice people. We are talking about the real life Game of Thrones, man. We are talking about the real life Game of Thrones. I think I know why Spirit was telling me to use the Oracle of the Seven Energies deck for this, because as an outcome. Okay, Spirit, after all that drama, Lord have mercy. Spirit, after all that drama, Holy Spirit, what do you want the people to know? What is your message? What is the message that you want the people to know? You know what? This just fell out of the pack, so I'm going to go with it. I hope that's the only one that fell out. Yeah, it is. Okay. The card is number 32. Oops, let me see. Yes, number 32. Quieting the mind. Ooh. Crumbs. That was a lot. Okay, quieting the mind. The key concepts here. Meditation as a commitment, the need for silence, peace within respite, chaotic outer conditions. This is a message for us. For us. Letting go of the monkey mind, mindfulness. Life is chaotic, busy, loud, frenetic, and overwhelming. Some days, all that noise is like the roar of thunder echoing around you, and it feels like you're being pummeled by a rainstorm. Is this not why we take vacations? To get away to somewhere peaceful? In spite of the surrounding din of the world, today you need to slow down and find a bit of peace. So go ahead and take a deep breath right now. Make a commitment to be still, if only for 5 minutes. Count your breaths and be mindful for every one of them. Know that you have all the time in the world to do the things that need doing. Everything is perfect as it is. Our core beliefs about the world originate in our thoughts and our feelings, which then become our perceptions. If our thoughts are all over the place, that is how we will experience the outer world. But what if the outer world didn't matter at all? What if at our center there was a place that is always calm, where the mind doesn't have a million things to say, where problems and challenges aren't nearly as important as we think they are? Today requires you to take an internal break and to go to that silent place to regroup. Meditate on the stillness within. Choose a peaceful mind and nothing else. You will be amazed by how easily everything falls into place once you do. That was a message. That was a message for me. That was a message for you. That was even a message for Rishi. Not that he'll ever watch this. But that was a message for all of us. Everything right now in our world seems so chaotic. And we're getting slings and arrows from all different directions. We've got inflation, we've got the cost of living, we've got wage stagnation, we've got oil prices, domestic electricity prices. We got all kinds of things, and they're all coming at us all the time, and it seems to be relentless. If you're Rishi Sunak, every time you look left or right, or even, I don't know, step into the House of Commons, there's someone throwing arrows at your cabinet, not directly at you, but indirectly in your vicinity. And you're thinking to yourself, what the hell's going on here? I haven't even been Prime Minister for a full month. What's happening? Right? Or I've only just been Prime Minister for a full month. The point is, in the midst of chaos, it is important to quiet the mind, to look within for stillness. That is the only way you will survive it. I think Rudyard Kipling said, if you can keep your head while all around you are losing theirs, you'll be a man, my son. I'll update that. You'll be an adult, my child. So, man, I'm 1 hour and 20 minutes. Bloody hell. I really wanted this to be a short one, but it just couldn't be. There was too much contextualization to put into place. So, and plus, I did start late. So, all I will say at this moment in time is, Randy, thank you for joining me. Everyone else watching, thank you for joining me. And if you watch on the replay, thank you for spending your time with me. I appreciate it. And if you would like for me to do a personal reading for you, please contact me at showintheend@gmail.com. So it's showintheend@gmail.com. And what else? What else? What else? What else? Yes, everything here is allegedly. Okay, this is just, in my opinion, you know, just some thoughts going through my brain. I have very little empirical evidence for everything, but I do, when I do draw sources, I do draw them from legitimate media sources. Oh, thank you, darling Sylvester. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much. Yes, so as I said, everything is allegedly, and this week I'm launching a new series of videos. Hopefully, you'll be able to join me. Oh, thank you, Sylvester. Hopefully, you'll be able to join me. I want to do a deep dive into what is the future of British democracy, because we have a very right-wing government, or a government that's more centre-right. Previously, it was extreme right, although, as I said, we have some very extreme right voices in the government. And we're now looking at journalists, protesters, everybody, people have been arrested left, right, and centre. They're bringing in some new rules on voting, where people now have to turn up to the polling station with ID, which is something that's totally alien. Britons do not carry ID. We don't do it. For us, if you have to bring your ID everywhere with you, then you're living in a police state. But the Conservatives are pushing this through because they know a lot of poor people cannot afford the type of ID they're asking for. Elderly people are exempt, but not your average Joe. So we have, I think, is it in the last 10 years, or God knows how many years, there's only been three instances where people have actually been prosecuted and charged with voter fraud. 3 instances. And I think it might actually be in the last 20 years. So there is no such thing. There are people, I want to know, where are the right-wing libertarians who come out with the same old line? We are British people. We do not carry ID. Only in Nazi Germany did they carry ID. That's how the Conservatives normally go on. So it's very interesting that they're the one who are pushing for ID at polling stations. But those are one of the things I want to have a look at. What is the future of British democracy? Where does it go from here? And it's going to be a whole series. So I'm going to be doing that on Friday nights. I'll be doing that Friday nights at 11 o'clock British time. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you again on Friday. Have a wonderful rest of the week, and have a blessed week. Thank you, and good night.